Gamers don't know what they want. They want change but complain when they get it. Listen, my misguided friend. This is what people want from a sequel. They want you to teach an old dog new tricks, but they don't want a new dog. Games like Bloodborne were a huge success and even considered by many both the best Souls game and the best PS4 game. Because at its core, it's still a Dark Souls game. It retains the simple but committal combat, the hard difficulty and cryptic storytelling, giant challenging boss fights with amazing map design. It has all of that, but it tweaks the formula. Change rolls to dashes to keep you close to enemies and make you more mobile, removes shields to nerf defensive play, and allows you to hit enemies to get your health back. All of this and many more to make the most fast-paced and aggressive Souls game. When people are complaining about a series getting stale like Call of Duty, this is what they mean. They still want to play these games but with a new experience. They want a game to retain its identity, the reason why they love it, but give us something new. The same with Breath of the Wild and Doom. It's why games like Halo has lost its fans due to, in many eyes, changing its identity to a more modern shooter and becoming more like Call of Duty and less unique, on top of just being shit. God of War has lost its identity and traded to be more aligned with games like The Last of Us and Days Gone and Spider-Man and Horizon Zero Dawn. The cinematic games, the story games, the dad simulator, a lot of PS4 games really want to hop on this trend, and I won't stand for I love The Last of Us, but not every game needs to be The Last of Us. Some games can be that, and some games can be Devil May Cry, some can be The Legend of Zelda and Assassin's Creed, but we don't have to completely change who we are to follow a trend. Come back to me, God of War. There's nothing wrong with having fun. We can paint the streets red like the good old days, use people's bodies as furniture, we can make it work. Come back to me, my beloved. Listen, I'm not against rebooting the series, but this isn't what I wanted from a God of War game. And after swearing off buying this game, I saw an ad for this on Craigslist for like $10 and prayed the guy hadn't recently got into selling organs on the black market. This is not a God of War game. And I know it's not a God of War game because the combat sucks. I don't know, it's just something about these cinematic games being a no fun zone, you know. It's like they're allergic to fun combat. We all heard about the dreaded camera, but oh no, my friend, it gets worse. The camera is atrocious. This is a game with up to 10 enemies in a given area, and the camera is so far up his ass, I can't see any of him. But oh ho, I hear you say, that's what the red arrow's for. That's just a band-aid. You don't fix a problem with another problem. That's like drinking less soda to counterbalance being a drug addict instead of just not doing drugs. Enemies in this game will randomly super armor through your attacks if not use invincibility to run away. So I don't know what on God's earth would convince the game that I would be looking at the arrow instead of the guy I'm fighting, especially when he can randomly armor through your attacks and kill you. I'll humor you for a second, game. Let us go down this route. The arrow turns red when the enemy starts an attack. It, however, doesn't tell you what that attack is or how close or what it even does. It'll flash red for an enemy that's close, that's far away, for an enemy that's starting to attack across the room with player tracking programmed by Satan himself. It'll glow red on quick moves, moves with long startup, projectiles, and AoE attacks. So when you see that red arrow glow, you just have to guess what the hell is coming up behind you, because newsflash, they all require different timing. You can block enemy attacks except for colored ones. If you see a yellow ring, the attack will break your guard, but you won't take damage. And red means it's completely unblockable. Another reason I asked God of War, why do you think I'd be looking at that red arrow for the enemies with unblockable attacks? So you would think that no color means that you can just block it. Yep, except when it doesn't mean that. Have fun figuring out which ones you can't block. Also, the dodge in this game is just garbage. Really, I don't have any other way to put it. Worse than any game I play, honestly. Hot doo-doo. It is so hard to just dodge through an attack that I really don't think the dodge in this game has that many invincibility frames. So considering I started the game on Give Me Challenge, I mean, I did beat games like Dark Souls, Devil May Cry. I played Fire Emblem with permadeath on. So you can imagine how frustrating it was to play this game, because on Give Me Challenge, you do no damage, and any enemy, including the starter ones at the beginning of the game, takes chunks out of your health. And it just gets worse as you progress, especially when a combat bullshits you this much. The part that actually made me want to quit, second time I wanted to actually, was on the first real boss. This boss is the culmination of everything that's wrong with the combat. Sits there doing nothing, you hit him 3 times and he uses his iframes to run away, or he just randomly goes through your attacks. Attacking from off screen, moves that you can't block, moves that insta-kill you while at the same time being hard to dodge through, because why not? These moves require a blood sacrifice and a working knowledge of trigonometry to triangulate the Higgs boson just to find the correct angle to dodge this attack. And on top of that, this boss can block your vision because that's what this game needed. Talking about the bosses, they also reused the same troll goblin mini boss fight about like 20 times. But I actually hated most of the bosses in this game. They either range from really easy / simple, or they just abuse the game's bad combat. You know, coming at you from off screen where you can't see them, having to rely on the red arrow, having super armor on everything, just randomly throwing it out there because the game doesn't know how to do boss fights, and the bosses are bad at not getting hit, so they just give them super armor, or they let them get invincibility frames. There's not a lot of enemy variety. Kratos can be really slow performing certain actions. The execution's one of God of War's most exciting mechanics. Quickly becomes boring and overused because there's only like one per enemy type and about 6 different enemies, so when it comes to executions, you'll see the same ones a lot. I really wanted to stop playing this game, but after I beat the first, I guess, rail boss, I've changed the difficulty to the normal difficulty, and my God of War experience was drastically different since then.
They were pretty weak.
The fuck you say to me, you little shit!
My damage was more acceptable, enemies were less likely to abuse super armor, and I didn't die for making a mistake, except from boss fights. But you take what you can get. And I could just enjoy the game, and that's when I started to fall in love with it. It's a beautiful game with unique and varied worlds. I love exploring and finding new loot, learning about the lore of this game, and getting more information about the world around us. The characters are all well written. I would sit out on the lake listening to Kratos and Atreus tell stories to each other. But above all else, I love the story of Kratos and Atreus. A story of a man shackled by his past while trying to raise a son he doesn't know how to get close to, and a son who is hurt by the loss of his mother, unable to get the affection he wants from his father. There's a part later on where Atreus goes a bit Daenerys on us, completely out of nowhere, which made me subtract a few points towards the end, but I love the story of Kratos and his son, and I love the world of God of War. But above all else, I love the Chaos Blades. I know this is the good section of the video, but the game has no weapon variety, only giving you 2 weapons and a special attacks, while varied, are pretty basic compared to the old games. But the fucking Chaos Blades can hit more than one enemy at once. It can hit enemies behind you while this is not in the game sooner. This literally solves most of our problems with the combat. I feel like God of War is a bad action game, but a good adventure game. One of the worst combats I had the misfortune of dealing with, and I've never wanted to quit a game before out of frustration. But when I wasn't in combat, it felt like one of the best games I've ever played. Such a polished and well-written game. As a whole, I can't tell you if I enjoyed the game, but if I ever jump back into God of War, there will be a ton of content for me to explore and new bosses to fight. So, this is the end of the video. Let me know how you felt about God of War and whether or not you played the older games. Don't forget to rate, comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to check out my Twitter for more content. Peace. Thanks for watching.